Rated E for everyone. Rated E for everyone.
Hey everybody, how you all doing? Right then, guess what we're going to be checking out today? You got it. It's going to be pumps and hoses, guys. Right, let me get rid of this screen on my desktop for a minute. There we go. Right, so this is a brand new save on Elm Creek. The only thing I've added is obviously the pumps and hoses DLC. Thank you to Creative Mesh for doing this. Also, a big huge thank you to Dashnet, Kerminator Live, Giants for allowing me to preview this for you guys. Obviously, it will be released on the 27th, which is next Tuesday, I believe. I've had a quick look at it, had a little play around myself, so hopefully I can answer a few of you guys' questions. There's a lot of stuff in this thing, so let's get this loaded up and started. So it's brand new save, so I'm not going to bother changing anything here. Right then. Excuse me. Right, so the first thing I need to do, because obviously I'm going to be purchasing everything, I'm going to add some money in. That should be more than enough. And while I'm in here, I'm going to actually purchase everything on the map. Heck, I haven't done this in a while, so let me just double check on this. Actually, I might just do the odd field. I've got plenty of money. So, right, so we're going to be attacking that field just there for some placeables. We'll buy that. Now, one thing I do need is a field that isn't really fertilized or got a crop. So there's a crop that's growing currently, so that's fine. It is fully. Oh, dang it. Probably have to come down here actually to 75. It is growing. It has not got any fertilized state. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll go with this field down here. We'll buy that, and what we'll do is we'll bring all the stuff down when we need it. So that's a good start anyway. Right then. So first of all, there is lots to cover in this. There's placeables, BGA stuff. There's obviously equipment itself, plus a few other bits and pieces around. So let's jump straight into it. So obviously you're going to find them under your tools section and the slurry tanks for the most part. Obviously you're going to scroll along to the end, and it comes from me because obviously this is something in here. Hey Green Thumb Farmer, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, obviously I haven't got any additional mods, so it's going to literally come in straight after all the base game stuff. And it's going to start off with the Shouting AC 115. And what I believe this is basically like a pump, as it were, that helps keep your pumps and your hoses all top notch, clean, tidy, and stuff like that. I'm going to buy all these. Obviously, it does make a nice front weight. Hey, LPs, how you doing? Obviously, it's a 100 kilowatt, I should say, pump basically. I'm guessing. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't got a really a clue about most of this stuff, so hopefully we can wiggle on through it. Hey Jonah, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, doing pretty good, thanks. Just checking out some of this.
Billy is a nuisance. He will be gone in 2 weeks. I
Right,
apologize
so
for
let's
this
buy that.
inconvenience.
Obviously, that is going to cost you 29,950 there for that, and that just basically fits onto the front of your tractor. It's kind of a nice little thing. No idea exactly what it's for. So onto this, there's a handful of what do you call them? Hose reels is the best way. Been better. Yeah, not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Um, Obviously I've checked a lot of this out already. One thing I haven't noticed with these, in particular, these hose reels, They do not state how much reels you can fit onto them, so it's kind of hard to judge which one to go for. But what I've actually done, I've gone through each of them and actually found out how much you need for these. So obviously this is the Shooten H240. It's going to weigh about 1.3 kilometers, I suppose that is, where it can go. I don't know. Obviously, you can have it as a front mount or a rear mount. Obviously, I'm just going for the front mount because they are so simple. I keep getting the information all mixed up here, so I'm just going to buy one of them. Capacity-wise for a reel, now this will hold a reel's the hoses up to about 1,300 meters, I believe it is. Hey Matza, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. Right, so did I get one of them? Yeah, I did. Obviously, you got a second one. Now, this one will hold two different loads on the same thing. Obviously, you'll get some on the front, some onto the back piece here. Same again. Obviously, you can have it with lights on the front or the back. And I'm not sure where there. Oh, there. Just on the front there, as it were. So there we go. Yeah, so I've obviously on the smaller reel you can fit 400 meters of hose. On the bigger piece, you can fit 1,300 meters worth. So it's a total of about 1,700 meters on this one. So we'll check that out as well. On to the second one. So this is the FTH 230, I should say. And from what I can gather, this is a bit of a pump and a hose reel storer, as it were. This will actually hold only 400 meters of cable. So we'll buy that and all. I'm just going to literally buy everything. Now, these things, I have no idea what they are. I'm guessing they're some kind of pump that you can use on the side of a field. Obviously, it does have a 3-point on the front with that, so I'm guessing you could have had it onto your front or your rear of your tractor. Obviously, it does have a trailer hook as well, so yeah, and obviously it does have that 300 meter. So I'm guessing it is some kind of a pump. The worst thing is there's not much information regarding each piece of these equipment that I've been supplied. So a lot of it I have no idea what it does, or even if you can use it properly. I'm kind of hoping that somebody's going to do like a proper tutorial on what each piece is, what it's meant to do, and stuff like that. I'm guessing that that's probably a bigger version of that previous one that we had. Obviously, it must pump the manure through, or the slurry, I should say, through more. This does have a capacity for your hoses as well, and I made it to be about 200 meters. So but we'll get into the pipes and stuff in a little while. One thing I wouldn't suggest is putting this onto a front of a tractor, because obviously the weight of this is, yeah, very front heavy. The tires go up. I found that out myself earlier. I did purchase that. So carrying on, obviously we're going into obviously the storage tank as well itself. Obviously this is going to hold 49,000 litres of manure or slurry. I keep wanting to say manure, slurry and digestate. You'll be able to fit in this, and obviously it does have obviously the pump and everything on the front there. You can connect your hoses direct onto this as well. Obviously you do have wheel configurations, obviously standard and standard 2. Obviously it's just a slightly bigger tire on let's see, the standard 2, or the standard should say. Obviously in addition, obviously you can have your license plate if you want to. I'm not going to bother today, but we'll buy one of them. Now this thing's kind of an interesting one. This was only released, the information was released today for this guy, and this is basically a tanker. Does the same thing as the other one that we just purchased a minute ago. Small capacity, only 12,200 200 litres, should say. You can work it just like that, but there is different things you can add on to this, such as a platform on the bottom here, which is kind of cool. In addition, obviously you've got your wheel setups if you want. You've got different brands there. You're more than welcome to look at a bit more detailed yourselves, I'm just going to pick any old one. Also, you can do just the liquid manure itself, or you can actually do liquid manure and water. Now, I was kind of curious how you might know what's in there. So obviously on the front of the tank, it does have indicators showing obviously your liquid manure and your water, which is kind of cool. So going back to the back of this, now I won't be using this today, I don't think, because I couldn't figure everything out on this earlier. But you can add obviously a reel onto this if you wanted to. You can also add a compressor, but you can also add the compressor and the reel all together on the back of there. So obviously you can, capacity-wise, I think it was about 400 or so meters of hose on the back of that. I'm going to purchase it anyway. Obviously you can have your license plate as well if you wanted to. It will put it in a little bit at the bottom there. We'll just buy that and pop it into there. So now we're going into like your applicators and stuff like that. For actually spreading onto the field. Now this is where I got really confused personally. So I'll go over it in a minute. So I'm going to look at this thing first. So this is one of the first pieces you will need to have to be able to mount the applicators onto the back, okay? And I'll show this off in a minute. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's an HS 5100. And what it does is, this is where it connects your hoses to your vehicle, and then obviously you can attach any spreader onto the back of that. So I'm going to purchase that one first, and then I'll go back to these the applicators. So obviously you've got different ones here. Each one is different width and stuff like that as well. Obviously with this one we've got the SP 8040SS, and it's an 8 meter working width, and will work at 16 kilometers an hour. Obviously different variations you can have with or without obviously the guide rail there. Obviously I'm just going to add it with for now. Then on to obviously the SPC 1230, and all of these are basically just the applicators that put it the liquid manure digestate into the field, it's the soil itself. I'm going to purchase that. So obviously that one is 12-meter work width and a 17-kilometer work speed. Going on to the next one, which is the SP12 260, and this is another 12-meter width, 16-kilometer one. Also, you can add obviously a license plate onto each of these as well. And then the final one, which is going to be the 9-meter one, and obviously that is going to be doing 15 kilometers an hour as well. So purchase that. So that's basically all of the main equipment anyway to start off with. Excuse me. Obviously you will need hoses for this as well. Now under pallets in the store here, at the end you will also have your umbilical hoses. And what they've really kind of cool done is added different capacity for pallets. So it starts off with 100, it goes to 200, 300, 400 and 500. Now with some of these, like I said, you will need a lesser amount. So what I'd probably recommend, if you are just starting out using these, go for a low capacity like 100, buy a couple of pallets so you can judge how much is going to be needed to add onto the reel. Obviously you can have like a maximum of 1700 meters on one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the 1700. So I'll go for the 500 capacity, so I'll do 2 of them and a 200, and that will fill it up. Actually I'll do a 400 on one for the front and the rest on the others, the 1300 on the other one. What they've also done with these is they've actually added different colours, so you can actually see them a lot brighter in the fields. So for instance, if I just go with red, you can have a nice red colour, you can have a orange, you got your yellow, it's quite bright. There's a blue there, you got a green, there's a brown, And there's a nice grey. Actually, I think as we're going to be doing the slurry spreading, I'm going to go for the brown one for this time. So obviously I'm going to need one of them, two of them. And I'm going to need a 300 and a 400. And that's going to fill up the 1700 one, which is the biggest one in this pack. Do the hoses get dirty? I would imagine so. Obviously, wear and tear like everything else. Obviously, they are being dragged over the fields. Obviously, I only had a quick play with them earlier trying to figure things out. But I'd imagine that they would get dirty, would need a clean. From what I understand, in here, this is what this thing's for. It's I think it's like a compressor type thing that cleans out your hoses as they're being used or once they get finished. I'm not 100% sure. I am really hoping that somebody will bring out a decent tutorial video on this. Obviously, a lot of it is just what I figured out within the game. While I'm actually here, there is two other implements, I think it is, in here. Three it is. There's a water pump that you can add, and from my understanding, it's basically a buy station that connects direct up to your tankers. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be doing it because I never actually got around to doing it. If I do, I might try later, try and hooking it up. We will see. This is something that's just been released information-wise today, and what this is a mobile separator. So it will basically separate your liquid manure from your solid manures, and you can actually move it around with pallet forks or whatever, wherever you want it to be. So we'll buy one of them as well. And then finally, what you will need is a wrench. Trust me, you will need it if you're going to be doing the hoses. Makes life a little bit easier when connecting up and stuff. It is needed for connecting the hoses together when you get too far along. So I definitely recommend having one of them added. So obviously that's all the equipment side of things. Obviously with this pack there is placeables as well, and they're kind of scattered here, there and everywhere. Right, so let me go up to that bigger field a sec, and we'll get into the BGA stuff. Right, so this is one of the fields I'm going to be using for today. Obviously, the first lot is going to be under your silos, and this is each one is slightly different to each other. Got different capacities. Obviously, you've got your liquid manure tanks to start off with. So let me just drop each one of these down. So obviously that's going to be holding 660,000 litres on that particular one. Obviously they're going to be going up in capacities. Obviously this is 1,697,000 litre capacity on that one. And then the biggest one with the dome on the top is 3,610,000 litres. So there's that. I kind of like the look of these. These are great if you want to make your own little BGA. You can make them however you want them. And thank you very much, Jono, for the hydrate there. So exactly the same again, but you can have them without the roofs. Obviously, you got your 606,000 litre one there. You got your 1,697,000 litre one there, and then obviously your 3,610 litre one there. From what I understand with these can also be used as slurry silo extensions for like your pigs and stuff. Maybe, not sure, not 100% sure on that, to be honest. Obviously we do still have a lot more in this pack as well. Obviously you got some slightly smaller but wider ones. Liquid manure tanks. Obviously there's 952,000 litres on that one. Actually I'll put them over this side, as that's got the top on it. We've got a 2,141,000 litre capacity on that one. And then obviously got 3,599,000 litres on that one. And obviously same again, you do have the ones without the top on them, which are absolutely great for extensions and stuff like that. There's nothing actually in the silo extensions. The rest of them will be under your production stuff, and this is going to be all your BGA buildings and such. So we'll just go at the start of them. So obviously, to start off with, we've got a stationary separator, which is right there. Very little. We'll have a closer look in a sec. This is another one, stationary separator. Obviously, this has a 35,000 litre capacity, and obviously it will separate your liquid manure from your solid manure. Solid. Hey Patrick, how you doing? And welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. And good morning to you. And obviously there is a slightly bigger one which holds 45,000 litres as well, which is kind of nice. From what I understand, the liquid manure also goes into like the big silos at the back there. Any solid manure will collect into these pits here. Obviously you do have the big silo domes as well. Obviously that one will do your digestate, methane and stuff like that. Manure for basically it's a fermenter. This is what this is, and it holds 20 million. 20 million? Wow, good capacity, if that's what it is. Okay, so obviously, from what I understand, these are what's needed to start off with when you're creating your BGA, and as you can see, it actually connects to each of those other silos as well, which is kind of cool, and will actually add up the capacity. I feel not too bad. It's still a little bit blocked in the nose, but overall getting a lot better. And very overwhelmed, I suppose, with this DLC, because obviously I do not know anything, to be honest, about it. Obviously, we've gone on size, so you've gone up one to 26. I think that's just 26 meter. I don't think it's the capacity, to be honest. And then obviously you got your 30M there as well. One thing I was kind of hoping that these would raise up and lower down, these other ones, but I don't think they do. So obviously that's going to be your fermenters. Then you're going into your power generator. This is basically for your methane and such. Obviously you do need to keep, as you can, you do need to keep them quite close to the rest of your BGA buildings. Obviously you get different sizes that output different amounts. So that's 1, 2, 3 of them. Obviously you got the 408. You got a Avis 500 plus, and obviously that's going to be outputting. It's going to convert your methane that's generated within the BGA into electricity that then gets basically sold off. Because obviously a lot of maps aren't using the electricity. Whether you'll be able to actually go into your production line and change it to distribute on a map. It's something I've never actually tried, to be honest, on here. I don't think the base game ones work with like the PV maps. Never really tried it. So going on to these little guys now. So obviously this is where you're going to be inputting all of your different products. And as you can see, as you get closer, it does create that little connection pipe, which is kind of cool. To say that, and then basically it allows you to place it down wherever you want. Or you can place down multiple wherever you want them, all the way around. It will connect to them. Obviously make sure that it is connecting to one of these. And I don't think it connects to these. No, see, as you can see. So make sure it is to the ones with the big half domes over the top sort of thing. Obviously each one has a different amount that can be put into it at any time. Obviously the smallest one there that I just put down was a 30,000 litre. And obviously it will take your wood chips, your manure, your what you call it? Silage. That was the other one. Obviously gone up in size. I was gone up to a 60,000 litre one next. Obviously I usually just put them on the front. Obviously that is overlapping, so I might have to put it somewhere else. Oh, there we go. I was just a little bit too close. So we'll plonk that one down there. And we'll shove that one onto there because there's a few more of these. Obviously, this is now 60,000 litre, so you'll be able to put 60,000 litres into it. Obviously, what it'll do is it'll process it over time, like the base game one, and then obviously, finally, you do have a 150,000 litre capacity one there. I just need to try and find. Oh, just there. So that's going to be your full inputs that you can use. Obviously, like I said, each one will allow you to put in so much an hour, and obviously it'll then process it. Another one that's been recently information put out for is this one. And this one's kind of cool. Now, this has got 115,000 litre capacity, and it's basically one where you can actually drive directly into it, I believe, and unload into it that way. I just got to remember how to do it. So it's the same thing again. Obviously get nice and close to where your tank is, and then you can place one down. From what I understand, the little bit at the front here, the dark grey part, actually unfolds, and you can actually drive into there and tip direct into it. Now, obviously, because this is going to be producing gases, what they've also added is a gas torch for the BGA, and it's best to try and put it nearby. It doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be. It's just one of these things, and obviously that is going to connect to everything that's there. So as it's producing gas, it's going to be basically burning it off like it would in real life. The only additional things in here now, and if I remember rightly, it's in here, and it's these little things. They're called pigs, concrete pigs. And they've got two different ones. You've got one, this is a European one, which I will shove one down there. And then you have a US one. And obviously these can be just used to decorate. They're nothing special, it's just like crash barriers type thing. So that is pretty much everything now covered. So obviously if you like making your own BGAs, you can use these to create your own little placeable area. And then obviously you do have all the different pieces of equipment. So there's something like 75, I think it was, in total pieces within this DLC. So let me purchase a couple of tractors to start off with. Now, what I would recommend if you are going to use this is to go for some high quality or high powered tractors. Earlier I was using the Black Beauty because they have pretty high. You could go higher if you wanted, but these seem to be around about the right sort of horsepower. So I'm going to purchase two of them. I'm not going to do anything else. Obviously I've just increased that engine capacity a bit. Right, so let me jump into this guy. One thing I will say as well, I had a lot of issues earlier with when I was actually trying to do this spreading, is you will need to have your vehicles turned on permanently when doing this. So in your game settings under automatic engine start, make sure that that's actually turned off for doing this part, okay? So I'm going to try and get some of this into the field. So I'm going to start with what's going to be going on the field first of all. And I'm going to be choosing this one here, and this is going to be the Shilton DH 240. And obviously with this, it's got two capacities on it. It's a 400 on the front, on the smaller rim, and 1300 on the slightly larger one. So it's a total of 1700 capacity on this. And all you literally have to do is just back up or drive over to where your pallets are and hit the R key. So that's going to be slightly less than what that should have been. I think I might have miscalculated that one, because that should be 400 on there. So let me grab a small pallet of 100. So obviously they're going to be under your pallet section. I might have done a 300 by mistake. And obviously we are doing the brown one, so we'll buy a second one of that, which should be right there. I know what it is. Dang. That needs to be on the inner side. Obviously, if you want to unload them back onto the pallet, it's the L key. Just like so. And I want that one there. Because that was the 400, so you hit the R, so that's the maximum 400. To get onto the second one, what you need to do is basically fold it, which is the X key. And once that's raised up, you can then start loading onto that second reel. So it's just R, R. Obviously you are getting the capacity at the bottom there for the combined, so one more R, so 1700 meters of line are on there. Obviously you can detach it right there and it will stand up perfectly fine. Obviously I'm going to be using this on the field, so I'm just going to fold that down a sec. And I will park you, let me see, over here I think for the minute. So obviously I'm going to be taking this away with me in a moment, so don't worry guys. Right, so like I was mentioning, this is kind of a bit of a fiddly part. So the first part you're going to need on the back is going to be this one just here, which is the Shulton HS 5100. And that's going to basically allow you to connect the hoses and the applicators. Now this is where I had a lot of issues. Hey Mr. Jababo, how you doing buddy? Now this is where I had a lot of problems trying to figure out how to do it. I ended up actually going on YouTube to figure out how to do this. So what you have to do is basically unfold it with the X key. Now I want probably the bigger of the ones really, so let's have a look at the different size there a sec. I should have made a note of which one I wanted. It's probably going to be the 900, that's 9, that's 12, that's 12. So either one of these two I suppose would be best. So the 12, 260, 260. Which one's that? That's the... So yeah, I'm wanting this one here. So what you're going to need to do, like I said, is unfold that first piece. Then actually back into the applicator part. So it actually goes underneath. Now it can be a little bit tricky. And just like that, you're on. Also make sure to tab through and then fold that up. So obviously that's going to be your applicator is now on there. Plus obviously where you want to connect your hoses. Right, so let me grab my hoses and I'm going to go down to the field that we're going to be testing this out on. Then what we'll do is I'll grab the other tractor and get that ready with the slurry and such. So, which field did I go with again? Can't remember. So we're going to field 75. It looks like it's an empty field. So, nothing on there as such. Obviously you can, from what I understand, run the hoses all the way from obviously your BGA to the fields. Or just fill up one of the tankers and run it straight off the side of the field. You're doing well, thanks. Good, glad to hear it, buddy. Yeah, so obviously I spent about 2 hours earlier just trying to figure out what's what with this thing, this pack. Obviously I did have a quick look on YouTube at DJ Goham, bless his cotton socks. He actually ended up contacting the guys at Creative Mesh to find out what's what regarding it. What I would recommend is probably going off to see his videos. He explains a lot of the stuff a lot more than I do. But hopefully you guys are going to get an idea of how to use it. Okay, which field did I want? 75. No, that shouldn't be that one. Why does that show is empty on there? Sunflowers must be turned off. Let me see something. Oh, it is sunflowers. That's weird. Put grass on as well. Okay, so it just doesn't have any fertilized state, so that's fine. Right then, so what we're going to do, I'll just leave that there for 1 second. And I'll go over to the other tractor. Also make sure that it is turned on. Yeah, obviously from what I understand, with DJ Goham, he's done a quick introduction. He hasn't gone into too much detail with his video, just enough to at least get you started anyway. So bless his cotton socks. So what I'm going to be just using is basically the big square tanker there. Actually, one thing I am going to do, because it's exactly the same as what DJ Goham did. I haven't got a clue if it's actually needed or not, but I'm going to grab that compressor that goes on the front, down the bottom here. I believe it's needed as well, I'm not 100% sure. Grab that, and we'll grab the tank. I'm just going to cheat. Obviously, this is a brand new save, so I don't have any slurry or digestate or anything like that. So I'm just going to use the good old F12 to fill this up. Wrong one. With some slurry. So 45,000 litres. Obviously, it looks like it can hold water as well. Not sure what exactly the water part's for. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, one thing I will say, this is something that got me earlier. As you can see, I'm not going anywhere. What you have to do is raise up the back tank, which I thought was kind of cool, with the V key before you can actually move. That is kind of cool. So obviously, there's a nice big tanker full of liquid manure, primed to go on the field now. So we'll just drive this down a sec. Yeah, so from what I can gather, obviously it has two compartments in this trailer. One for slurry and some for water. I don't know why you'd want water, maybe to flush the pipes through at the end. No idea, to be honest. I haven't even covered that, but I wish that they had like a tutorial video or some documentation going more into using each of these bits and what each part is meant to do. It's really kind of annoying to actually try and figure things out. Obviously, with this one, you can fill up from another tanker if you wanted to. If you've got a liquid manure tanker out there, you can run off of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to park this on this side of the field here and try not to crash. God, the brakes on this is terrible. Right, so let me bring this back here a minute. Just so I can get into that area there. So one thing I would say is make sure to lower it back down. Obviously in real life it wouldn't be very good for the tank itself to be raised up permanently. One thing you will need to do is keep the engine running. That is a definite. Right. Okay, so this is where the fun part begins. So what I need to do is unload some of this pipe to start off with. I'm going to be going for that front one, and you can actually unreel it, and I've got to remember how the heck you do it. I don't want to unload it, I want to unwind it. So bottom of the F1 menu there, you can see that the Z key changes the winding. It will either wind onto it or unwind it off of it. So obviously Z key will change it. So there we go. So that is what I want to do, hopefully. And unload. Dang it! How did I do this earlier? V. Nope. Heck! How the heck do you do this? Is that one? Yeah, there we go. So you have to hit the Y key. What that will do is basically unravel all that hose. Now what the DJ Goham did is he did the entire one. So if I take this all the way down, obviously this is going to be 400 meters. Z, Z, whatever. Yeah, you know what I meant. So 13, so I need to take another 50. Sort of take it back. Obviously, this is one thing that he did recommend doing is basically unraveling at least a section of it. So this is the 400-meter part. Now, from what I understand, you can drive over it as well if you wanted to. The hose, you don't have to worry about that. Heck, I might have a bit too much, but oh well. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. And there we go. So that's that. Right. So if I just fold that up, so it doesn't reconnect. So obviously I'm gonna need to now connect that hose wherever the heck it is. Yep, right there. To obviously the pipe on the back. So if you tab back to that first piece that we put on and hit X, so that's going to unfold that piece, and once it's unfolded, as you can see, you'll get left shift Q to connect the hose, and there we go. So that end is now connected to the vehicle and the tractor. So we'll leave that for a second. So obviously we need to hook up this end, and this is where your little wrench comes in handy. You can do some of it, you can do by hand, some of it you can't. Obviously, if I need to connect this end of the hose to that, so obviously I'm going to use the wrench here just to move it across, and I'm going to drop it on the floor. And what you have to do is do it inside the vehicle. Whether it works with manual attach, I do not know. At the minute, you do have to jump in to your vehicle to connect everything. So there you go, that is now connected up. I'll jump out here, silly traffic's in the way. As you can see, the hose is now connected itself to this side of the tank. Obviously, keeping the tractor running, you do need to turn on the compressor with the B key, which also turns on the pump on the back. So I'll put both of them on it anyway. I don't think the actual front part is needed, in all honesty. But obviously keep your tractor running, okay? If you have it to set so it just starts up when you get into your tractor, then it's not going to work. It's going to keep shutting off. So just bear that in mind, guys. So what I need to now do is select obviously the applicator and unfold that. So select it and X key to unfold it. There could be a way of doing it by hand, but I don't know. Obviously, all I've seen so far is obviously you can drag the hose with obviously the spanner, but then you have to jump into the tractors to attach them at the moment. But like I said, maybe the manual attach will be added to it for it. I don't know whether they'll be able to do it or not, but at least for the minute you still have to jump in to attach everything. But remember that is left shift Q to attach. Right, so let's try and get some of this done at least. So obviously V key to lower. Obviously you are going to need to select that first part as well and lower it with the Y key. And obviously hit the B key to turn it on. And fingers crossed that will now start spreading manure, and as you can see the texture is changing. So what I'll do is I'll just do this part here and then I'll put it on hired helper, because it will work with a hired helper, guys. Now obviously this field didn't have any form of fertilizer put onto it. Obviously crop destruction is turned on, so let's turn that off. So if I come in here, now you actually see that there's at least one strip of fertilizer been added, so that's kind of cool. Hey Pompies, how you doing, buddy? So let me raise that up slightly. Actually, while I'm in here, I'm going to turn that crop destruction off, because that is really horrible looking, to be honest. Crop destruction off. And obviously, if you do have additional pipe and you need it, you can add on with the spanner, obviously. So let me drop you down. So the only problem is having to tab through everything to make sure that it's all up and running. So there we go. So that should now be doing its dues. I'll put it on hired helper, and you can carry on doing that field for now. Obviously that is what, 400 meters of pipe there, so plenty of pipe to do this field, that's for sure. And you can see that it's just slowly working its way down the field there with the hired helper. And if I come into the menu here, you can actually see that it's applying that first state of application of fertilizer to this. Obviously it is slurry in this case. And the nice thing is, obviously, if you have a tanker that accepts slurry or liquid manure, you can actually grab that and bring it into here. So you are getting some damage. Let's just see how that guy's doing over there. He's turning around at the minute, has no issues. So there you go. I think it's a nice way of doing it. A bit fiddly to start off with, but it is a nice idea. Obviously, I've grown up in the countryside, and I've never actually seen this being done personally. I have heard of some people saying, "Oh yeah, we've seen it done over here, we've done it over here in the UK or whatever." But wherever I've lived, I've never seen them doing it this way. I've always seen them just using a liquid manure tanker spreader thing and doing it that way. But this is kind of a nice novel idea of doing it. Obviously the nice thing as well, obviously having the hoses on the front, it acts as a counterweight for the back as well, which is kind of nice. And as you can see there, it's automatically adjusting that connector at the back, so it's not going underneath the applicator, which is really kind of cool. Yeah, it is a really strange thing, to be honest. Like I said, I've never seen it being done personally in the UK. I have heard some people saying that they've seen it being done around where they've lived. But yeah, I have no idea where it would be done. I suppose maybe on a small farm, possibly. So that should then adjust. There we go. That is really kind of cool. I like it. I really do. I like the idea of it, I suppose. Whether I'll be using it a lot in my own gameplay, I do not know. I'll probably use the BGAs a lot more myself, the buildings in the foreground there, to create my own BGA type thing. The problem is, obviously, being on a big map, it doesn't have a big audience, I suppose. Question: does the lower the horsepower requirement in use? Oh, crap's now you're asking, Jab. Let's have a little look at something, Kazak. Also, you do have these sort of pumps that can fit on the side of the field as well. So let's see, that's a 200 horsepower on that. I honestly don't know, to be honest, Jab. Obviously, I'm just going off what I know, I suppose is the best way to put it. As you can see now, why is that saying it's been disconnected? Or is the cable in the way or something? That is weird. One thing that, yeah, this is something that DJ Goham found as well. If it goes too far the pipe, it will disconnect itself from the tank. So you may need to keep an eye on that. So just use your wrench. Actually, I wonder if I can pull it across this road a little bit away. It's kind of cool, actually. Idea. It's a shame they didn't get it lined up properly, though. There we go. So let's bring that back over here. Jump into there, and typical. It's not going to allow me to connect it, is it? That's there. Oh, helps if I have the tank selected. So left shift. There we go. I wonder if you can actually pick them up there. No, you cannot. Okay. Oh, forgot I can't jump over that, can I? Let's see if this is going to behave now. Something is not turned on. What if, is that tank turned off? Must be. It is very, very fiddly. There we go, that's what it is. So make sure to turn that on. Turn. Are you going to turn on? Hello. Umbilical. Oh. Oh, interesting. Just noticed something. Obviously, if you get a clog in the pipe, it'll actually show in your F1 menu there. And if you wanted to clear it out, you could just hit the X key and it'll actually flush the pipe through. I think that's what the water is for. Oh, interesting. But yeah, there we go. So that's turned on anyway. So you don't need to have that on permanently. Let's try that now. See if that's going to behave. There we go. Cool. So, yeah, it's a cool concept, isn't it? Moisture control. Yeah, I know a lot of places are using the irrigation and moisture control stuff. Obviously, being in the UK, it's quite a wet country anyway, so they don't really need the moisture control or the extra water going in. But obviously, the drainage and stuff like that would be kind of nice within the field. Yeah, I might use it some on, say for instance, my grass fields. I'd probably use it more on that than anything else, I suppose. And obviously on my PV Wolf Creek save game, which I'll probably go over in a little while. Obviously, I do have some ads due to run in about 4 minutes. I'll take a quick break. I'll reload onto my Wolf. So that's pretty much most of it covered. I'd rather you guys try and figure out most of it yourselves. Obviously, that what I've shown you today gives you at least a start of getting the things together, being able to at least try and run it itself. Obviously, it is a DLC from Giants. It's a third-party one, actually, to be honest, from Creative Mesh, which means it is not part of the season's pass. I did have crop destruction on there. As you can see over here, that first row that I did, it will apply, but it will also destroy your crops as it's going. So obviously, if you're using a row crop tires, you won't get this. This was just from the tires on the tractor that I was using there. But as you can see, it didn't actually affect the plants themselves when it was applying this slurry. Yeah. So obviously, if you're using the oh, you probably have to look around at your different tractors. I don't think any of these mediums would have narrows really. Probably looking at something like, I don't know. He doesn't have any. I don't think the Dutzfa has any narrows, does it? Oh, that's the wrong one. Does the narrow? Is there arrows on this guy? Yeah, you could probably go with, like, say, the Dutz var. Obviously, in one of the videos, it actually has the Dutz var in it. Tractor being used, so you could probably use something like that. But just take into consideration the horsepower needed for the different things. So obviously you will need, oh, I don't mind what's in there, at least 2 tractors to be able to run it. Obviously, like I said, you can run it from the BGA direct if you wanted to, or you can actually run it from one of these tanks. I don't think this will be able to apply onto it. It's more of a storage, kind of like this, but a smaller capacity. Obviously, that does have obviously the compressor and the hose reel on there. Obviously, I'm going to need at least a 200 horsepower for that. So the Dutz var, let's have a look at that again. 200 is more than adequate, to be honest. There's 287 horsepower just standard on that. Yeah, obviously, I'd imagine. Obviously, I do know that they do disconnect it if they get too far away from the slurry tank itself. This one up here, as you seen a little while ago, it actually literally disconnected. Hence why you have to come around here and reattach it with the spanner and stuff. I think. Obviously, I suppose I would imagine over time it would gather dirt on the outside and stuff, and may need to be cleaned. Obviously, I have not run it that much, to be honest. This is actually the first time I've actually been able to actually get it to work and apply the applications in game. So, with that being said, what I'm going to do, if any of you guys have got any quick questions, I'll probably leave it for the minute because ads are about to go off in about 20 seconds. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll pop back into here afterwards for any of you guys. Just to have a quick run through of all that stuff again. And I will see you in about 3 minutes time. So enjoy the ads for any of you guys. And be right back. Alrighty guys, so hopefully the ads are now done and dusted. So obviously if any of you guys got any questions, you're more than welcome to drop them in chat. Obviously I'm not really sure about the damage to the hoses and such. Obviously like I did say just before the break there, traffic's terrible. Obviously it will disconnect if the hoses get far too far away. Let me turn them off a minute because they're a pain. Obviously if you are doing like a huge field, obviously having that bigger reel on your tractor will help. I want to just see something a sec. Now obviously that is a 400-meter long cable. Let me actually go down that way instead. I'm going to run it down the actual road itself to see just how far that is for 400 meters. I should really fold that up, shouldn't I? Now, hopefully it won't disconnect. And from what I understand, one thing I do want to try is to connect up this second hose. Now that's probably going to disconnect any moment now. Let me see a sec. Yes, that is now actually disconnected thoroughly. So if I actually drive down the road, because obviously I've got another 1300 meters of pipe there, which I can use. It will be out on Tuesday the 27th, Pompeys. And it's what, $18, whatever it is, depending on where you are. Right, so I think that should be far enough for now. Obviously, I've been honoured to actually get a pre-released copy. No, I don't want hired helper, but I will unfold that to give it some stability. I'm going to disconnect that. Right, so I had, was it 300 and two 500s on here. So the first one would be the 300 to come off, and that is the one that I want. Right, so need to make sure that it's selected. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. And I want to try and drop it as close to that. Now it says I can connect it direct from there. And is that going to see, now that's just going to drag it. So what you'd need to do, let me disconnect that. It's going to have to unravel that. So start unwinding is the Y key. So Y. So it's going to drop it on the floor. What I'll do is drive it forward a little bit. And what you should be able to do from there, if I jump back out and get my wrench, somehow these should connect up together, from what I understand. Somehow. I'm not exactly sure how you connect these two together. Maybe you need something in between. Let's just take this back a sec, minute. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure how you put them together, but let's unravel this anyway. I would imagine you're probably going to need something like a pump or something in the middle there to connect them back up. Right, so there's that end. Wow. Didn't realise that was that far. And I want to unwind that one, so we'll do that there. Take this up, so this is a 500, so I'll go a bit further along and then I'll double back. So say about 750, I think it is roughly. We'll bring that back down to here. A little bit too long, but well. Always best to have more than what you actually need. There we go, so that's that disconnected. As you can see, you can run over these pipes as you would normally. Right then. This is the end. So put that nearby. So, and I do want to connect it onto there, so left shift Q. Right then, now we've got to figure out how to connect those other buggers up. So let's grab another tractor a sec. I'm going to go with the Dutes this time. Release you. Okay. See, because you got things like... Oh, if I can squeeze out of here. So obviously you got things like this. I'm guessing you might be able to run as a pump in between, or something like that one. Obviously that is going to be your separator. Obviously it's going to separate your liquid manure from your solid manure, which comes out of there. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how they connect all these different cables up, the pipes up. So let me grab both of those two. Actually, so I'll put that one on the front. I believe that there are different types of pumps, different lengths of hose. So take that one. See, on the far end there is a water pump as well, which I believe is used for cleaning out the pipes at the end of every day or whatever. So let's have a little test of these, hey? See if it works or not. Not really sure if it will or not. But I'd imagine there is, I would imagine there's a way of connecting two different ones together for those bigger fields. But yeah, I really, really hope that somebody actually brings out a more detailed video on this. Right, so this is the new cable there, or pipe. Why do I want to keep calling it a cable? I have no idea. And somewhere down here is that. So if I drop that there a sec. Actually no, because I'm probably going to need it connected. So let me just drop that one off first. I want the bottom one here. Obviously that's allowed me to connect one. What about that second one? Are you going to allow me to? It doesn't look like it. Let's leave it there a sec. Grab the wrench. This is one weird freaking thing, that's for sure. Detach. Yeah, I have no idea how you put two together, to be honest. That is very, very strange. And it actually looks like the pipe there is actually cut. That is, yeah, a bit weird, but... Yeah, get this stuff in FSL, definitely. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. What is going on? Because I know with, I think it was pumps and hoses, wasn't it? You could actually connect different pipes together. Right, so that is no use. Let me get my little tool out again. Take that. Unless there's something I've missed, I don't know. I honestly do not know how you'd put those two together. Because it seems like you can only do maybe 500 at a time. I wonder. I have an idea. Where is that end gone? Right, so that's connected up to there. I wonder if that has something to do with being on connected to the front here. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. It's left control, right on, and I want to wind it up. Is it that one? Okay, so that is going to be that one, so I don't want that one right now. I want this other one. See, the only thing I don't know is whether you'd... Oh, come here. There we go. Nope, I want that one. Ooh, is that it? Or has that just moved it? I think that might be it. So you have to get them very, very close to each other then, from the looks of that. Yeah, so obviously if you get them close to each other, you can actually attach the hose like that. There we go. That's better. That's what I wanted. Hey, Mr. Shy Wizard, how you doing, buddy? Yep, we're slowly figuring these things out. Right. So that means I should be able to, with this end here, it looks rather broken, connect these up together. So spanner out again, attach. There we go. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, so to connect your hoses, just make sure that they're nearby each other. Then using your wrench, make sure to just do that left mouse button to connect them. So that's kind of cool. So that answered that question for us. That's cool. Hey Def Gamer, how you doing, buddy? We're just trying to check out some of the pumps and hoses stuff at the moment. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Right then. So yeah, you could actually quite easily do a big field then, if you had enough pipe set up. That is pretty cool actually. It's not out right now. It'll be out on the 27th, so Tuesday. And obviously it's the Pumps and Hoses DLC by Creative Mesh. And it's basically a whole load of slurry applicators and stuff like that. Right, so I wonder if you can... There we go. Yeah, so it's very fiddly on some of the bits, and not so fiddly on other. Let's see. Actually, just take this back a sec. Interesting that it's actually gone through that as well. Yeah, I think they need to still do a little bit of work on the pipes though. That doesn't look very good where it's kind of separating, so very, very strange. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's like I was saying a little while ago. It's not something that I've personally seen in the UK, and obviously I've grown up in the UK all my life in the countryside. I've never seen anybody using this sort of stuff. So there's that. So I'm just going to go through this again. I'm going to actually enable my super strength just to move this guy out of the way a sec. I have no idea what these pumps are for, or even how to use them. There's literally no paperwork or no fact sheets or videos or anything showing how to do this. So I've basically spent about 2 hours this afternoon trying to figure it out. Also, you're going to need your tanker here that has your slurry or digestate in it. So you need to turn that on and make sure that it's on. And let me go to this guy. Then obviously you're going to need a second tractor to do the actual applicating. So there's that. I need to select you. Make sure that you're... There we go. But it is kind of cool that it auto adjusts where that connector part is when you turn around. So if I actually purchase this field a second, I can maybe do some slurry spreading on here. Let me see what the... probably won't get anything on there. That's got weeds. I need something that doesn't have bleeding a solid for 77. Let's try 77 instead. Let's go over here, purchase that. Obviously this is just a quick test map. Right, so that will not apply there. Just raise that up a bit. Kinda wish there was a field that wasn't... Actually, you can kind of see it on there. It is actually applying. Obviously, if you do get too far from the main tank there on the side, it will detach, guys, so just bear that in mind. So put you down, turn you on. So you are going to need to have the tank on the side of your fields turned on, as well as obviously your applicator. And I'm hoping that that's applying. I have no idea if it is or not. Let's just have a little look in here. Yep, as you can see, it's now actually applying, so that's kind of cool. So this is a field of potatoes that I just purchased. There we go. Put that on hired helper because it will work with a hired helper. And the weird thing is the capacity, what's in there, doesn't seem to be going down very quickly. So if you are going to be doing slurry spreading, this is probably a better option because it does limit the amount of being used, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I've got that as well. Yeah, I could. Actually, yeah, because having that crop on there is kind of a pain. What's actually on there, if anything? That's partly grown. So 73. Let's purchase you. We'll buy that. Right, 73. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done this. 73. I don't own it. There we go. And I want field 73. Actually, just go the other way, probably easier. Nobody wants. To be honest, I like using doing slurry and manure spreading. But the only time I usually do it is onto like a grass field. Fruit. What we'll leave it as wheat, 0 fertilizer, 0 lime. Don't any stones really. So I think that's right. Yep, that looks better. So obviously, if I come down here now to field 73, it should now have no crops on there. Well, it just be planted, to be honest. So wheat grown, 0 fertilized state, needs lime. Cool. Still not sure what these little pumps are for, but hopefully DJ can go ham can figure them out. You've stopped. Why did you stop for? I'm guessing he's probably got a little bit too far from the looks of that pipe. Ooh, you can crisscross. So yeah, it looks like even if you have it in within trees, it's probably going to catch. Well, that is weird. Righty then, let's give this one a try. That is kind of nice. I like that, where it actually adjusts so it keeps the pipe out of the way. Let me turn you on. I'll do this myself. So there you go. You can actually now see it actually applying the slurry to the field itself. Put you on hard, and like I said, it does work with hired helper, so that's cool. That's a good question. I did miss it. Sorry. Miscellaneous. There is some information there. There you go. For pumps and hoses. Oh yeah, it does tell you even how to connect. So obviously, umbilical system is a new form of liquid manure application in Farming Simulator 22. To efficiently apply liquid manure and digestate through the umbilical system, there is a wide variety of equipment available that interacts with each other. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, you got your hoses, your hose reel. Obviously, I've got the biggest one there. Like I mentioned, each one will have a different capacity. Yeah, it's not really a glitch. It's just where it's gone through the trees. It's just raised up for some weird reason. Yeah. Obviously, you can. So the first tool to start with is the pump. This needs to be placed next to the source of liquid manure or digestate, using the liquid manure and digestate from any source such as a slurry tank, animal husbandry, or manure pit. So, taking that into consideration, it looks like you can actually run from your animal husbandry, your animal pens, so your cow and pig pens. That's an interesting one. I wonder if it adds something into those pens to be able to connect. Might put some down in a sec. Make sure the pump is powerful enough for the length of hoses used. So with that, let me have a little look at something. So these are the pumps that it's on about. These guys. Obviously, that I just mainly went for that because it already had it built in onto the tank itself, but you can run it seemingly through these. And obviously that's going to be 160 horsepower. So obviously I'm guessing you have to have it connected to a tractor to power this, both of these. And obviously that, oh yeah, so yeah, it will feed up to 300 meters worth of cable. And obviously that's going to be 1,000 meters worth of cable. Interesting. But how do you run the second pipe out of it then? See, that's something that I have no idea. They've literally not added that much, to be honest, to this. So there is additional information in here. So obviously that shows how you connect it. I will run through for any of you guys who are just joining how to hook these all up. So when it does get released, at least you'll know what to do. Oh, that's what the thing on the front is. So the compressor can be used to clean the hoses, which need to be attached to the pump. Start the compressor and wait until the pressure has built up to start the cleaning process. This ensures an effective use of the umbilical system. Interesting. Also, there is a water pump as well that can connect to, I think it's the tanker that comes with the pack. But yeah, I don't understand why you'd need water. Maybe just for flushing through the sea. Pump equipment with the water tank can be filled from any water source, such as a well, as a. I believe with this as well, the little water pump, you can actually purchase water through it. I believe. It's basically a buy point. The fill water and the pump places from the water pump next to it. Enter the attention. Okay. Yeah, so they have added some information anyway. Obviously, this is going on about your BGA plant itself, the different parts of it. And obviously, you've got your separators as well. So obviously, you can put. I suppose you're placing down your manure and stuff, and it will separate the liquid from the solids, which then you can use separately. So, what have you stopped for? Dingo. Ooh, interesting. So it does not like having the hose nearby. Oh, it's got an empty tank as well, which doesn't help. Just bring that out of the way a little bit. Actually, put that there a sec. Yeah, see, that's actually full. Maybe I've got a bit too much pipe work going on. Oh my goodness. Nope, that one. Let's try that now. There we go. Let's have a look. I'm wondering if it rolls over, is it going to stop the tractor? No, it's still going okay. Hey T Miller, how you doing, buddy? Interesting. So there is some obviously in-game information regarding the pumps and hoses DLC itself. Actually, while this guy's going back and forth, what I'll do is I'll quickly run through being able to connect obviously the two parts on the back of the tractor. So if I grab another tractor a sec, and what parts I need. So let's go with, because a lot of you guys like your John Deere, I'll get one of them as well. So obviously in your tools and slurry tank stuff, for just doing the field application part, you will need, so the Schulten HS 5100. Yeah, if the pipes get disconnected, it will stop the AIs from working. It's happened once already on here earlier. So yeah, you're gonna need one of these, and also you're gonna need whatever applicator you want. And I think we'll go with. We should go with one of them, hey. Mind you, I've got them all back at the shop. Okay, you're gonna stop there, yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, so to connect these two guys, so obviously I'm going to be doing. It doesn't really matter which one it is really. So obviously, like I said, you will need this guy right here. First of all, which is the Schulten HS 5100. Ah, okay. Yeah, so you're going to need that first of all on the back of your tractor. Now, because this has got quite a weight on it, I'm going to grab one of these just to use as a counterweight. And looking at that, that has a pump on it as well, so you could actually use that if you wanted to. Nice thing is you do have your I did have some of that there. So obviously what you're going to need to select obviously that back piece and hit the X to unfold it. And what I'll do is I'm going to just grab any old one of these, doesn't really matter which one. Obviously you guys can choose which one you want to use. And what you want to do is just back up and run that underneath till you get the attach point. And that's it. Just make sure to go back to that first piece and fold it back up. See, that is where the pipe connects, that bit that's folding up right now. There we go. And obviously that's going to put it into place. And then you can just run it from there. So you then just take it to the field and go wild. It is so, once you do it once or twice, it's quite simple. But what I'd recommend, if you are going to use these, is to try and keep them connected once they are connected. It literally took me a couple of hours to figure this out this afternoon. I ended up actually watching, like I said, DJ Goham actually doing a review on this, quick introduction to it. But yeah, and obviously it will be for all consoles, so consoles, PCs, stuff like that. Will be released on Tuesday the 27th, which is obviously next Tuesday. Obviously I've been honoured, thank you very much guys, to be actually able to show you guys it off. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff in there. I was quite surprised, something like 70 odd pieces in total in this pack. Right, so let's see if I can remember how to do all this again. So I'm going to disconnect this guy for a minute. So turn you off, and we're going to left shift Q will actually attach and detach. And to be able to move these pipes, what you have to do is use the spanner that you can get in the shop. If I can collect it, there we go. And then you can just drag that out of the way. And actually, what I could do is grab that other tractor. Oop, went the wrong way. There we go. Let me detach that a sec. I want to try and get rid of some of this hose because it's quite long and lanky, so I don't really need them here. So obviously, if you want to connect them, just put the pipes, either end of the pipes near each other, walk up to it, and obviously just click the left mouse button to attach and detach them. But you can also pick them up if you want to. Oh, can we do that? I want to. Can I grab you? There we go. I want to roll this back up onto the reel. Hopefully it'll allow me to. Oh, it helps if I'm there. So left shift Q, and then I want to change it from. Oh, actually, it's already changed to winding. So Z will change, and then. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm sure it was Y to roll in. Oh, okay. So obviously you've got to have them all separated to be able to wind them back up. So let me go up to the other end. That's a bit of an issue then, Mr. T. Miller. That is definitely a bit of an issue. Now, just in case, I don't want to be parked over the top of these pipes when I want to reel them back in, but I need to find the other end. And I noticed somewhere along here somewhere. I just hope it's not on the cut. Oh, there it is. So obviously, using your spanner again, just walk up to where that joining is, and click the left mouse button to detach them. There we go. And what you should be able to do now, obviously that's a heck of a lot of pipe, is roll that now back up. Bam. Detach first. Oh yeah, detach first. So detach, and I want to not do that one. How do you undetach things? Oh, friggin' heck. Open AI menu. See, this is what I did not want to do. So, Z to wind it back up. There we go. There's that. Oops. Hey, Danger Engaged. How you doing, buddy? Just trying to figure out how to get these back on. Let's try that. And do... There we go. So obviously drive up to it, hit that left shift Q to attach it, and then the Y key to reel it back in. As you can see, it'll just take a little while to do that. Yeah, if you're not following Danger Engage, make sure give him a follow. Click on the link, give him a follow, and check out. He is on console, guys. He is from the UK, so don't hold that against him. But yeah, he's an amazing streamer. Very, very nice guy. That is for sure. But yeah, that is kind of cool how that rolls that back up. I'm liking it. I sure is. So like I said, this particular piece here is the Shulton DH 240, which holds 1700 meters of pipe. Oh, that's why. I'm thinking, why do I keep going the wrong freaking way? Left shift B. I've got to change that around. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of very. It is a nice. I will say it is a nice idea, but it's a pain in the butt. It really is a pain in the butt to try and figure things out. Right, so let me. Actually, if I go with that end there, I can roll that up. I need to detach it first of all. Left shift Q. There's that. And then X. And we'll fold that up as well. So that should now allow me to roll that up. So let's see if I can remember how to do all this again. So select front, left shift Q to attach, then Y key to roll it up. Y2 color. So if you haven't seen it, obviously the hoses themselves come in different colours. So obviously it's going to be under your palettes. So here they are, the umbilical hoses. They go from 100 meter capacity to 500, okay? But they also have different colours. You can choose whatever colour you want. Obviously I've just chosen mainly brown and I don't know, I think it was orange and black or whatever. But you can literally have different coloured ones. It's kind of cool. So if you want to have all red cables, pipes, you're more than welcome to. You can have all blue, green, grey, the whole lot. So that, yeah, you could really make it really colourful. Obviously, I do have, I think there's all brown ones here actually at the minute. But yeah, it's not too bad in all honesty. But like I said, it will detach. Actually, that does look like it's getting dirty. Or is it just a shadow? I think it might just be the shadowing. I don't think they're actually going to get dirty. They might do, I don't know. I suppose the more you use it, maybe it will get more and more dirty. Right, so let's get this guy out of the way. So that's something else that we've figured out, that's kind of cool. Right, so let me grab. Let's see, so I need one's connected up to this end. Where the heck's the end? There. So like I said, to pick these hoses up and connect them, you have to use the spanner. So I'm just going to drag this over to here, connect that up to there. So you do have to do it within the cab. So left shift Q. Like I was saying to some of you guys, yeah, you could have black and orange for Halloween if you wanted to. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could probably use the manual attach. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's going to be available to be used with this. We'll have to if any of you guys are using it, let us know. So that's that end connected. Right, so let's connect this guy. So like you seen just then, it is very simple to connect these back two pieces. Just make sure to unfold. We'll just go into that second one, and we'll detach that. As you can see, it will just literally slide straight under. Let me get rid of that for a minute. And you will get that pop-up to say that you can connect it with the Q key. Just make sure to select that first piece and fold it up until you get to where you're going. See, somewhere down here is the other end of that pipe, which is right there. So obviously we're going to have to unfold that a sec, which is the X key. So we'll get close enough. Do left shift Q, and that is it then connected to the tractor. So you can actually start going around and doing your slurry spreading. But out of curiosity, danger engaged. Obviously, where you live, have you ever seen this sort of stuff being used? And how's it gone, Mr. MacGyver? You have a lot. Okay, because I've never actually seen it. Obviously, I grew up, like I was saying, I grew up in the countryside, and I have never seen it being done. I don't know any farmers that even use this sort of stuff. So obviously, there you go again. So obviously, what I've done there is I've lowered and turned on the actual applicator with obviously the V and B key. Obviously, you do need to select obviously that first piece that's attached to the back and use the Y key to lower it. And what it does is obviously pushes that pipe out of the way, so you can actually then carry on spreading your slurry. And one thing you do need to make sure is that your tank is turned on as well. So make sure to activate that. Tab back through, and now that should now start applying, which it is. Yay! It's kind of cool. I do like the idea of it, but yeah, I don't know if I'd be using it a lot. That's the thing. So it is kind of nice. So obviously, if any of you guys have got any questions, I can run through everything again if you want to. But like I said, you can use obviously as well hired helper if you wanted to. So there you go. I've just shoved a hired helper onto that. Hey Cowboy Mike's, how you doing, buddy? Obviously that's then going to go through, apply. It does seem to actually use less, I think it is, slurry. I'm not sure. I'd have to maybe run a few tests to see. But this does seem to do a pretty good job of it, that's for sure. Hey Mr. Jaren, how you doing, buddy? You just popped in for 5 minutes. All good, man. Oh, good. So yeah, on a big map like a PV map, I can't see many people you guys using it because it is quite small. Obviously, I think the biggest applicator there is like 12 meters. Obviously, being in DLC, you can't unlock it. Well, you could technically break into it by unlocking it, but I wouldn't recommend it because you could get in trouble for that. Whether any mods get added, yeah, that's another thing that have bigger areas. Actually, one thing I did want to look at, let me just save that a sec. Obviously, in here it does state about your animal pens as well. Biogas. I'm kind of wondering if they've added something into the. Oh, look, you can see the pipe actually moving as well as he's going along. That's kind of cool. Let me just check something a sec. So, animal pens, pigs. Let me grab one of you. I don't own that land. Do I own that one? Yeah. There's that one. Let me just see something. So it'd be kind of cool if there was a way of actually hooking them up to your animal stuff as well. Separated manure slurry. See, I don't know how they do it. Umbilical hoses cannot connect those together. Maybe that's something that needs to look into. 'Cause I don't think there's any additional animal pens or anything. No, there wasn't, was there? Yeah, I wonder how they do it with the animal pens. Running the slurries from the animal pens, whether you can do it direct from the pens, or you just have to take it to like one of these field side tanks. See, so many questions and not enough freaking answers again. It does my head in. But yeah, that is kind of cool. 12 meters is not bad. You got a total, I think it's about 78 individual pieces in this. You're doing good, been playing on a 16x map. Cool! You'll be looking forward to Dave's new map coming out, and obviously for any of you guys who haven't been around, obviously Dajna is making a 16x map. The aim for the map for release is going to be end of this year into the new year. Obviously the main thing we're waiting on is obviously the Platinum DLC from coming out. Hey KW, how you doing, buddy? One of the planned ideas for when that map comes out is that the production pack will be available to be used on any map with any luck. Obviously that's something that I'm working on at the minute, is making sure that each factory is set up so it can actually go onto whether it be a base game map or any other map, and as in the products that it needs. Obviously one thing he will be adding as well is a trading post for getting the additional stuff in. Hired workers can take BGA to red. That's true. That is very true, Mr. Shy Wizard. But I also know there's a way of running the pipes, the hoses, I should say, from the BGAs that come in the pack to the fields. On a 16x map, I wouldn't want to do that personally. Let me have a look and see something. Because obviously we do have these little connectors there. Obviously they do show up in the production menu as well, which is interesting. Concrete plant, torch. Yeah, so you can put your sugar beet cuts in there, your silage, you mean and your slurry will come into it as well if you wanted to. Okay, so obviously these are going to be. Actually, let me jump up a minute. How long we got? 7 minutes before the next set of ads. So obviously this is my Friday stream, so obviously it's only 2 hours today. But obviously this is all of the placeables that you can get in the pack. Obviously you got all your tanks there at the back. One's with covers, one's without. Obviously this is a whole BGA that can be set up. Actually, one thing I did want to check is that quickly. Also you got different power converters for turning from your methane to your electricity just here. You've got different separators, so you can separate your liquid manure from your solid manures. Obviously, each different one has a different capacity. I kind of like this one, the shed one here with the top on there. It's kind of nice. Just out of curiosity, oh, you got some tools there. You can't pick them up or nothing, from the looks of it. From what I understand, obviously the liquid goes into obviously the tanks over the back there. The solid will then build up inside of here and come out of basically this little thing just there. Obviously you've got your fermenting silos here, and then obviously your drop-off bunkers. The nice thing is they will hook up this little pipe from the drop-off to the fermenters when you get close enough. Just bear that in mind as well. They do need to be close enough to connect. Now, that's something I wanted to look at quickly while I'm here. So there's different sizes for these drop-offs. Obviously, you're going to have to lift them in with like a bucket or something like that, or a wheel loader. However, this one here, let me turn this flight mode off a sec, so I can never get things to work. This will open up, just like that. And obviously it's going to do exactly the same job as one of these, but you can actually just back into here, and then unload your products into here. Obviously I've got nothing currently in there, but you can close and open and close that. It'd be nice if there was a bigger version, I suppose, of this. How are we doing? I want to snooze those ads temporarily. One thing I am going to do quickly, let me grab another tractor and a trailer. I want to just quickly run through. Wrong one. Definitely don't want that. I want something that's easy to back up. That'll do. Let me snooze that for 3 minutes. And there we go. I just want to run some manure and stuff through, just to unload that. Also, you do have like the tanker version there that has the compressor on there as well. Personally, I'd probably just use that field side tanker, and then the applicator, the tractor, and all that, the way I've been doing it today. Right, so let's do that. But yeah, I've always liked these placeable BGA systems. Obviously, if anybody's seen my Uncharted one, I did a. It was kind of a small BGA by the caster modder. He did like a little pack, and it was quite a nice little BGA setup there. So I need some. What do I want? Don't want forage. Silage will do. So what you should be able to do is back up into the bunker, and there you go. So you can actually unload direct into there if you wanted to. I'd imagine you should be able to put bales in there as well, which I'll try in a sec. Obviously, as you can see, it does start moving. So technically, what you could have is 3 or 4 of these all connected to one of these BGA fermenters, if you wanted to. So that is just going to start processing that. So that is just silage. You can see that it is counting down. There's no collision on there, which is a bit of a shame. And what have we got so far? So 50-50 fermented. Oh no, that's the field. And let's see. So in here we currently have some 700 silage being fermented. And that. Obviously, you will need to activate these as well. Remember that, guys. Let's go back to that. Distribute it across the biogas plant. So you can store it, you can sell it, you can distribute it, or you can keep it within the biogas plant itself. And obviously it does show your the fermenting percentage, the bunker percentage. I suppose you have to keep this quite high, I'm guessing. Not all the materials are available. Is running bad. I'm not sure what that's about. Corrugated plants, 100 torch. Obviously, this is something that you will need as well, the torch. Because obviously, with biogas, it produces gases. And obviously, what they've added is this thing here. And it's basically a torch, a gas burner. And obviously, once those gases start building up, what it should technically do is burn off through this here. I've never actually seen that happen in real in here yet. Now, just out of curiosity, obviously that took whoops, didn't mean to hit F11. Obviously that took I need bells. Where's bells? Bells square, and I want dang you, silage wrapped. One of them. Ooh, very colourful. Just out of curiosity, I want to see if it'll take bales as well, and it will, so that's cool. So if you've got a buttload of bales, you can throw them in there as well, as if you've got loose. Obviously that is then going to go through and basically should produce digestate as well, I'd imagine. Let's have a look. I'm hoping, yeah, so as you can see, I'll walk over to this tank, I've got some digestate being produced now as well. And let me go into flight mode for one last go. Just have a look. So there's nothing shown there, so there we go. There is that lovely digestate that can then be used in one of the fields to add a fertilization state. But like I said, you do have different sizes, some with covers, some without. I do believe that these do act as a slurry extension silo for your pigs and your cows as well. Your liquid poop. Yep, how you doing, Richard? So that is kind of cool. That is very, very cool. And they got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 placeable items just for your BGA, plus your two pigs, what you want to call them, your little barriers. Obviously, one's a European, which is the white one, and then you've got the American version, which is the yellow. So you can actually make quite a good BGA, that is for sure. Obviously, in addition, you've got about 30 to 40 different pieces of equipment, guys. So obviously, it's the Pumps and Hoses DLC. Oh, look. Can you see that? I don't know if it's shown up on this, but you just about see some gases being produced over here. That is very, very cool. And you can hear it running as well. That is really cool. I like that. Got smoke effect as well, kind of on there. Don't get too hot. Close. Might be a bit hot. See, that one's got something being burnt off. That is really cool. It's a shame they don't have the fans turning though. Oh, if any of you guys put these down, let me know if any of these actually start spinning around. I would love to see that. I doubt any of these would be working yet, so... But yeah, that is kind of pretty much it, really. Like I said, I do hope... Oh, there's some more there. Hope that somebody puts out a decent, in-depth video for this. Alright, Team Miller, have a good night, buddy. I'm actually jumping off myself now. Obviously, 2 hours is pretty limited, but I'm hoping some of you guys got an idea of what is in the pack. Quite a lot, actually. And how to at least get going with it. One thing I would recommend is keep an eye on like DJ Goham and some of the other guys who do the testing. Because they may be able to help you out even more. But that is very, very cool. Whether I'll be using it myself in my save game, I don't know yet. I'll have to wait and see. It's like I mentioned, I do tend to use slurry and digestate only really on grass fields rather than my actual crops. I will use my solid and liquid fertilizer, but we shall see anyway, that's for sure. Obviously, he has now actually finished that field, which is kind of nice. So that was what, a 500-meter long cable, so that is definitely plenty to do this area. Obviously, like I said, it will disconnect if it gets too far from obviously that field side tank, guys. But anyway, this video will be stream will be gone on YouTube for any of you guys who want to check out any of it. Obviously, it's going to be up on Twitch for the next I don't know, I think it's 2 weeks for affiliates, if I remember rightly. Obviously, Dashnet is not on today for the simple fact he is away today. Obviously, he will be back streaming tomorrow though, and obviously he'll be probably going over this pack again. Obviously, he has a key. I was blessed to give a key as well. I'm not sure who else in the SGA has it, but I know I think Dave said he had 5 keys in total to share out. So with that being said, I am going to hit this snooze button on those ads again before it kicks in. I'm going to go over to the ending screen, say a big, 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 huge thank you to everyone out there. And obviously, yeah, if you want, hopefully Dave is going to get a chance to actually check out the pack before going live. It is a bit of a hard one to understand to start off with. But let me do this. Oh, let me get some credits going. But yeah, big huge thank you to all you guys for coming out. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend. Obviously, I do need to find somebody streaming out there today. Obviously, I'm hoping to be back actually tomorrow. Oh,
we could do a hex.
hang on.
Nerf carrot.
With my daughter tomorrow morning. Around about 10 o'clock in the morning UK time. So that's about what, 5 usual time, I guess, for like Dave's time. Let's see. I do see that Mr. Oh wow, Mr. Imperial Gamer is actually playing. Who's the newest member to the SGA? He's doing Construction Simulator. So I think I'm going to send you over there. Show the guy some love, yeah, because I know you all love the SGA guys, and he is new. So let me get this going. He's currently got 11 people watching him. So get that started. But yeah, like I said, I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Now, why did that stop? Silly sodden thing. With my daughter, probably doing a bit of Jurassic World or Jurassic Park or something. But yeah, I'll be in and out of streams over the weekend anyway. So stay safe, guys. Stay well, and I'll catch you again soon. And thank you very much to everyone for coming over and checking out the Pumps and Hoses DLC. Take care, guys. Bye for now.
I apologise for your ears, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, Raiders.
Do you though?